hub of international intrigue and a secret formula that can change the course of history. Challenge of the Tiger.
You not only approach one group, but several at the same time.
I'll handle it, boss.
We'll take action at once.
That's right. We can't afford to fail this time.
We must have the formula.
Somebody's fooled you.
Speak up!
I don't know.
Hold it!
Dragon Films presents Challenge of the Tiger. Attack and counterattack. Espionage and betrayal. The men, the women, and the killers. In fast-paced action, where split-second reflexes mean win or lose, life or death. The thundering fists of Bruce Lee and Richard Harrison face the challenge of the Tiger.
What are you doing?
A cast of international stars in an arena of death and destruction that spans 3 continents.
You idiots!
Because you know too much about it. So I can't let you live.
Leave here at once. Danger.
A mind-whirling, bone-shattering chase that brings you the kung fu magic of Bruce Lee. Challenge of the Tiger. Big screen action in power-packed kung fu tradition. If you can stand the pace, don't miss Challenge of the Tiger, coming to your theater soon.
Welcome to They Call This a Movie, testing the strength of friendships, one terrible movie at a time. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and other podcast services by searching They Call This a Movie, and find us on Blue Sky, Threads, and Instagram at TicTamPod. That's TCTAM Pod. Welcome back to They Call This a Movie. This is Anthony Del Vecchio. With me, as always, is Dan Aquino and Mark Myers. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, friends.
Hello, everyone. I will admit I had something in my brain to talk about here, but I'm going to go with a backup that popped in my head. But for something we're doing later in this podcast, I don't know if you guys found this, but I was, looking up, a list of like people saying movies you must see, movies you must watch, or top 20 movies or top 100 movies, like random list. And it made me realize, as we all probably know out there, listeners and you guys, some people have no idea what they're talking about in terms of a good movie. Essentially, like someone had of all movies of all time, someone had like The Dark Knight at 3. And I'm like, it's a good movie, like a really, really good movie, but 3? And then you see that all the movies pre-2000 are like in the 40s and 50s. Like it was
Are we
such a
talking about the
recent-
IMDb top 250?
Yeah.
That sounds like the IMDb top 250 to me.
Yeah, that is. I didn't want to call it out, but yes, that is where that was the first list I went to. And then got halfway through. I was like, I'm going to go to another list. here.
Awful list.
Yeah,
Awful
it's a terrible,
list.
terrible list. But it's always it made me think of the joke. I don't know if you guys seen this on social media where when someone says something stupid on a podcast, they just say like they should make podcast equipment more expensive.
Yep.
Well, that's what this whole podcast is, Mark.
Yeah.
Just us saying stupid shit.
Well, no,
It's pretty true.
I mean, yes, but I was specifically mentioning the clips people have pulled out and put on social media, which thank God we have not made it to yet.
Well,
As stupid as 3 white guys with a podcast,
Yes.
there should be less white guys with a podcast.
Yes. Yeah, I was not denying that. But my point was reading through that list and a couple of the other lists was like, man, there should be some editor at the end of every blog that just reads and goes, no, we're not going to publish this. No, not going to let this live on the internet.
all right, so Mark,
Yeah.
in your opinion, what deserved to be number 3 in the top
Oh
250?
God.
Summer Catch, right?
Summer Catch, yes.
Summer Catch,
Just right below Fast 5.
of course,
Yes. And then Rookie of the Year was number 1.
of course, yeah, solid top 3.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I like The Dark Knight, and I like most of the movies on the top 250, but
It's real bad.
it's rough. Like I know one of my blind spots, and we'll talk about blind spots later on, is The Lord of the Rings, but all 3 of them were within the top 15, and there's at least one. No, there's 2 Christopher Nolan's in the top 15.
Yeah.
3 in the top 20. 2 David Fincher's in the top 20. It's just, it's very film school, bro.
Well, it sounds like you're saying The Lord of the Rings should have been higher, and I agree.
No, I'm not going to even entertain this conversation right now.
No.
I would say that sure, one of them can be in the top 15, but there must be other movies that can separate, build some space between the 3. I don't know which horse you think should run as the front runner. That's not for me to decide, but there's got to be, there are movies and film history is so varied, so long and so varied that you're telling me that one director in a span of 3 years made 2 movies that are worthy of a top 20 placement. And this is a populist poll, obviously. This is voted on by voters. When you leave it to the masses, they never get it right. You just look at it, all-star baseball selections over the past 25 years. The people are stupid. And when you group them all together, you realize how dumb people are in general.
You're 100% right. I agree. To me, I think Lord of the Rings should be as like the sum of its parts, kind of like the one whole. If you want to just say the Lord of the Rings trilogy in the top 10, then I think that's fine. But if there had to be a front runner, it's hard to say anything other than Return of the King being in the top 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my personal offense was seeing how low Some Like It Hot is on that list.
My personal offense is seeing Interstellar at 18.
Oh, okay.
Well, I know you're not a big Interstellar guy.
Carefully goes to my list.
You haven't seen it? Is it on your list?
I have not seen it yet.
It's worth seeing, but I am of the opinion that it is overly long. And a lot is made over the fact that it involves real science.
Yes.
And the ending is anything but real science.
That movie personifies like smelling your own farts kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's definitely a look how look how smart I am. If, like you said, a very film bro movie.
Yeah, people,
but it is
like
worth seeing.
internet loves it. They think it's his masterpiece, and I don't think it's his masterpiece. I think it's one of his weaker films. Most ambitious, sure,
Sure.
but
I would say Dark Knight's better than Interstellar if we're going by Christopher Nolan movies.
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say Memento's better. I've
never seen Memento.
I still say Dunkirk is his best movie.
Well, it's okay. That's okay.
10 out of 10.
Whatever you guys say. I too enjoy the sound of ticking clocks. It's so much fun.
There you go. This guy that doesn't understand what a motif is.
Know what a motif is.
Doesn't sound like you know what a motif is.
I get it. All right. I get it. Oh, time's ticking, guys. No shit. Thank you very much, Christopher. You don't say.
Yeah. Well, if that movie is any indication of how subtle Christopher Nolan can be, watch Interstellar. All right. That's enough of that talking about that. We watched a movie this week, and
Did we?
I certainly did.
I know I did.
Is a guy pick? Is this a guy? This feels like a guy pick. The guy special.
Yeah, it's a guy special, and so for people who may be tuning in for the first time to our podcast, the guy special is a good friend of ours. Guy will recommend movies to us. He's also a bad movie aficionado, so. A lot of the times when I'm stuck for a pick, I will turn to Guy, and he has picked some gems, and this is a Guy special from 1980 called Challenge of the Tiger.
Yes. So Challenge of the Tiger from 1980 is directed by Bruce Lee. I don't know how you pronounce L-E. I'm going to say it's Bruce Lee. He directed Superhero, Bruce, King of Kung Fu, Last Duel of the Great Wall, Comfort Women, and Black Spot. Stars Bruce Lee, Richard Harrison, Jiang Li Huang, Nadiuska, Brad Harris, Tito Garcia, Sharon Shira, Tao Chiang, and Bolo Yung. IMDb score of 5.1 and no Rotten Tomatoes score, and I couldn't find box office or budget. Plot. After over 70 trials, two scientists finally discover a formula for sterility, then are immediately murdered in their laboratory. It's up to two CIA agents, one an expert in martial arts, one an expert in laying pipe, to make sure the formula is recovered before it falls into the wrong hands. Standing in their way is a former Miss Spain and her nefarious cohorts looking to sell it to the highest bidder, and a communist terror organization looking to do something with it. Join CIA agents Dick Cannon and Huang Lung as they travel the globe, play tennis, fight bulls, and seduce the ladies in this Bruceploitation flick starring and directed by Bruce Lee. So, gentlemen, I want to know where you're coming from. Dan, where are you coming from with Challenge of the Tiger?
So I desperately needed a movie to pick my spirits up. It's been a rough few weeks for me at the home, and I needed something to take my mind off of it. And Challenge of the Tiger stepped up to the plate and punched a bull in the head and said, "Don't worry about all of your troubles, Dan. Watch this movie." And holy shit, this movie is bonkers in such a good way. I had no idea what I was stepping into, and I'm so happy that I didn't know, because this might be the most gratuitous movie we've ever covered in terms of like topless scenes.
One scene specifically, yes, I think.
Yeah, it's in the first 5 minutes of the movie, where Dick Cannon is I don't know, I guess he's supposed to be, he's a playboy, it sounds like, or it looks like, and I think the only like qualification that you have to be with him is just you have to walk around topless.
Yep.
He's playing tennis with these girls. He's fully clothed, by the way.
Yeah.
He's fully clothed. The women are not.
Yeah. Well, some of them have their shirts on, just
it's true.
Open.
Like I wonder,
down.
Yeah, or just like kind of like, yeah, just like spread open a little bit or pull down. And I'm so curious as to how the director with Bruce Lee, I wonder how he convinced people to do that. Like, all right, for this scene, everyone's naked except for this guy, and we're just gonna really linger on you for far too long, and it's gonna be super uncomfortable. But yeah, so there's that. There's I had no idea that they were CIA agents. I didn't know how they were connected.
Yeah.
They just kind of show up together at one point. It was I would describe this movie as a foreign actor's idea of what an American action movie is without the concept of storytelling, because this movie just kind of it goes from fight scene to fight scene without setting up any fight scenes.
Yeah.
He wherever Bruce Lee or Bruce Lay shows up, a fight just ensues magically. It just appears out of thin air.
Yeah.
And also the MacGuffin being a sterility vaccine or formula. Who asks for that? Right? Who said we need a sterility formula ASAP? There's too many people.
He's cracked the code finally.
And I don't know what people want with it. It's never explained fully. They just want the formula.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine that being your lifelong scientific goal.
Right. It's not the opening scene is amazing because it's these two scientists just saying, after 77 test trials, I finally done it. And then two masked men show up out of nowhere, brutally murder them, and then cuts away. Like, it's a cold open of two scientists being brutally murdered.
All right, Mark, where are you coming from? Challenge of the Tiger.
Yeah. So my first thought in the opening scene was the thought of how far certain men will go to not have to wear a condom.
Oh God!
Sure.
I'm gonna make a formula that kills human sperm, so I don't need to wear protection. Yeah, it was like, I like the idea of, in like science fiction, where you get species that hate each other, so it's in Mass Effect, the video game, where one species is creating a formula sort of thing to make sure another species can't procreate anymore. So that sort of concept feels more sci-fi than action movie. So that was a little confusing to start. But then at no point in this movie, and I agree with Dan, I had a lot of fun watching it, even though I was confused for most of it.
Same.
At no point do they ever say what anyone wants to do with it. Like, the closest they get is just out of nowhere. Maria and her cohorts all of a sudden just throw up Sig Heils, like out of nowhere.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. Just they finally get the formula. She gets it after they steal the fake one. And when they get in the room together, they're like, oh, we're going to do this together. We finally got it. And all of a sudden, all three of them throw up Sig Heils. And I'm like, wait, whoa, are they Nazis?
You know what's sad? I watched this undeterred, phone down, didn't look at my phone once. And you mentioning that, I fully saw them see Kyle. I thought nothing of it.
Mark, real quick. Are you sure they weren't just sending their heart out to people?
It may have been a Roman salute.
It might have been a Roman. I'm sorry. Yeah, it might have been a Roman salute. Yeah. It's sometimes my brain goes right to Nazi, and
right.
Especially when it comes with things that could be considered eugenics. But that's just me. But yeah, that was out of nowhere. I did, and at no point could I figure out, outside of two groups, who was who. Like, I knew our CIA bros and the one chick that's with them, and then I knew Maria and her crew, because when they walked into any room, if you didn't go, I think those are terrorists, because they just completely stand out from the rest of the crowd every time they walk into a scene together. And it's like, oh, those are evil people. It's pretty obvious. Especially with the one American with the black tank top and the muscles, just completely standing out in wherever they were, Hong Kong or whatever. But yeah, so it goes through all that, and I'm equally confused. And then at one point, it cuts from something to a guy leading a group of people doing karate at some kind of base. And then I guess he's with Maria's side. I don't know, but there's a lot of those cuts where it cuts to something, and you're like, it took me like half the first scene to like recalibrate and figure out what I'm watching, and then sort of know the players. And yeah, then the fight scene happens, and I forget all about being confused because the fight scenes were hilarious at times and sometimes really good. You can tell that I looked up Bruce Lee, being a stunt coordinator and stunt guy and all that. So you could see, like, knew what he was doing with these fight scenes, especially his. So that's essentially what this movie does. It gives you like 5 minutes of being confused about plot or whatever's going on, and then they fight, and you're like, oh, this is awesome. I completely forgot about that. And then it cuts and tries to do more plot, and then, but I do agree with Dan. The best part of the movie is when he knocks the bull out. Because he hits the bull in the head, and it cuts to some like animation or something, showing like, I guess, the bull's blood vessels contract or whatever it's supposed to be showing, and then the bull passes out.
I could legitimately talk about that scene for an hour.
It's so good. And then the fact that, and I agree with, I think Ann had said this, or maybe it was during Dan's last segment, but the Dick Cannon being very much a James Bond felt like somebody that didn't understand what they were doing with James Bond, thinking what a James Bond character would be. Like James Bond is just smooth with the ladies, He doesn't have a mansion full of topless women playing tennis with him.
No.
So he's not that smooth.
He's not that smooth. He can use his charisma to, make the women assigned as his partner, on a mission to fall in love with him or at least have sex with him. But no, he did not. That went a little too far into if they were trying to do the James Bond thing. But yeah, I still have no. I don't. The only thing I can't figure out is with the ending. I'm like, did they end up getting the formula, or did it burn in that car? That was the only thing I couldn't piece together.
It burnt up in the car.
Okay,
that's what I came to.
That's what I came to too. But I was like, did I miss something?
Yeah, I think it does, because they never mention that they have it at the end. Yeah. The movie just abruptly ends with a car wreck.
Yeah, and then my final thought is on that's not my final thoughts. We get to that in a second, but is I knew we were in for a good time with this movie when they have that awkward celebration hug at the beginning with the scientists before they get shot. Like, it's just a little too long. And they, like, it's not like one of those quick, hugs. There's like, and then the guy moves a little bit. And it's just real. And I was like, all right, this movie is either doing the Neil Breen thing of taking it way too seriously and not knowing it's a joke, or he was, trying to, like you said, Bruce exploitation, slight parody of those types of movies. But overall, like I said, had fun with it, was confused the whole time.
Okay. As for me, this is my first time seeing Challenge of the Tiger. And hot take, this is the best guy special we've ever watched.
I also enjoyed Spikers. I thought that was
Spiker was great.
I did not. I was not here for Spiker. So.
Spiker was great. We had the Sonny Chiba movie. Right, that was him. Yes, Madam, I think was him as well.
I think, are those the same movie?
No, Sonny Chiba was the Sonny Chiba movie. Yes, Madam was the Cynthia Rothrock movie.
Okay, yes, you're right.
I think this is my favorite of all of them. This was a lot of fun. Like I said, this movie had my full attention. This is more than I could say about The Thing 2011 and even 12 rounds previous to that. So I didn't know. Every scene was a mystery of where it was going to go, and I was pleasantly surprised every time. The sterility formula, I can't think of too many groups that this wouldn't be considered getting into the wrong hands, including our heroes, because they work for the CIA. Right. Like, that's their whole mission. We got to make sure it doesn't get in the wrong hands. You guys are the wrong hands.
Because that would be used as a weapon in
They're
some
bringing it
foreign
right to
country.
George H.W. Bush.
Yep. Well, no, this is Ronnie Reagan era. Oh, you're talking about CIA Bush. Never mind.
CIA,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's going to try and figure out how to get it into Guatemala or something like that.
Put in the water supply.
Yeah. I love Dick Cannon. I love the fact that he has a sprawling mansion and naked women on retainer, apparently, on a government employment salary. So, yeah. We talk? We have to talk more. I could talk more about the naked tennis scene. Did we explicitly say that the scene that we were talking about where these women are naked is they're playing tennis with Mr. Dick Cannon, and there wasn't a scene in this movie shot with more care. They took their time with that scene.
Some really good slow-mo shots.
Slow-mo shots. They must have shot the hell out of that scene.
Yeah,
and it also,
spent a solid week just doing that scene.
There was very much the best example of why women wear sports bras while playing sports like tennis.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that looked painful.
Yeah.
Jen had my favorite quote of the night. We watched this together with my 1-year-old son.
Start him early.
Yeah, right. I swear to God, I had no idea this was going to come on. But during the tennis scene, Jen says, that woman has some big areolas. I lost it. I have to write that down. And it kind of distracted me after that.
I watched this by myself, and I still had secondhand embarrassment watching this because of just how long this scene went on for. And if this scene wasn't enough, immediately after, there is an extended scene of a woman drinking water from a child statue that is peeing into her mouth.
Yes, that
I forgot about that.
I see you taught your son water sports today.
Oh my God, I forgot about that scene. It's so gross.
And it's just water. But she is drinking from a little cherub child that is just 2 hands wrapped around his hog. just let it fly.
And I think Dick Cannon or one of the girls or someone said, she looks like she's enjoying herself.
Yeah, they say it like twice.
Yeah.
She seems to like it.
Yeah, you taught her well or something like that. That's insinuating he pees on that girl.
I'm sure he does. You think a dude that obviously has women on retainer, he's paying women to just live in his mansion house.
Right.
You don't think he gets into anything crazier than just maybe doggy style? This guy does some weird shit. One of those girls has taken a dump on his chest.
So do you think that this is kind of like a propaganda for CIA? Like, hey, join the CIA, have naked women on retainer. See the world.
Right. I mean, if you got a sweet mustache like Dick Cannon.
I was so taken aback by that scene. And not that it's just naked women, it's just how long the scene is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a legitimate 5-minute scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a shot towards the end where this woman laid out on her stomach on a
lounge chair.
A lounge chair, and the shot, it just focuses on her butt for a solid minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like cut away. Okay, we get it. Cut away. And it's nope. We're. I think they just had to fill out time.
They might have. I also like how everyone in this movie 100 is awful at their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But our heroes, Huang Long, that one scene where those guys pull the driver out of the car and just beat the shit out of him. But how long does it take Huang Long to just get out of the car and fight back? He was watching this dude get the shit kicked out of him.
It's 30 seconds.
Just watching it happen. Dick Cannon keeps falling into the obvious sexy lady trap.
Yeah.
Twice, at least. Twice that I counted. Yeah.
And then Maria's guards can't protect. They have one job. It's just protect her.
That's my favorite scene, where it cuts. I think Bruce Lee just enjoyed looking at shirtless people because it cuts from this muscular guy curling a barbell to Maria, who's naked on the bed, back to the guy curling, back to Maria, back to the curling guy, and at one point Maria gets attacked by someone, I don't know who, and the guards are like, "Oh, it's fine." The clear signs of a struggle happening. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like I laughed at how absurd the scene was in terms of just cutting back and forth to nothing happening really. It's just a muscular guy working out.
Yeah, I thought they were setting up like a sex scene between him and Maria, like on the horizon.
Sure.
Leopard was his name.
Leopard.
Oh, I had no idea what his name was. I just knew him as muscular guy.
Yeah. There was this one dude that was like too jacked. I think he was one of the guys that tried to break in and attacked Maria.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a little too jacked. Like his arms were kind of short, but he was just like huge.
Was that the guy where the one group said, that failure equals death?
I think it might have been.
that?
Yeah. He kind of looks like he was kind of running around looking like Baby Huey.
Yeah.
He had like a white tank top and like white shorts. It looked like he was wearing like a baby
it's
jumper.
The same guy. Yeah.
And it mirrored what was his name? Leopard, you said?
Yeah.
Because he wore all black.
Yeah.
So
he just kind of looked like he looked like a jack toddler.
A tuna can.
But that's like a chode. But like that guy, that's not the guy who Leopard does the the Kirkland version of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers like handshake, is it?
No.
Okay,
That's the karate. That's the karate teaching guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I had written in my notes, we have the Arnold and Carl Weathers handshake at home, and that's the handshake at home.
Yeah, and that you could tell that they didn't know when to cut the two guys shaking hands.
Yeah.
Like no, okay, yeah.
Did either of you guys find it odd that they were playing they're playing Stars and Stripes Forever in Hong Kong?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Okay.
I was trying to justify it to myself. I was like, oh well, it's Sousa. That doesn't necessarily mean it's American. And I'm like, no, wait. The name of the song is Stars and Stripes Forever. It absolutely is American.
Yeah, in communist China.
Yeah.
Well, it technically would have been England back then.
In 1980?
Yeah. It didn't. Yeah, it wasn't part of China till what, like 99 or something.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, but still odd.
Oh yes, it's
no matter
Stars
how you
and Stripes
cut
Forever
that.
still does not fit, even if it's a part of the British Empire.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a localization more. The original film didn't have Sousa.
I
was the American version of it.
I was confused. So I had kind of looked down at my phone for a moment, and when they started playing Stars and Stripes, I figured, oh, maybe they've flown back to America for some reason. And then the very next shot is they're still in Hong Kong. I was like, that doesn't make any sense, right?
You're waiting for Lex Luger to show up?
Yeah, he comes in on the bus. The Lex Express. Just totally miserable.
I also like the scene with the quote unquote growling dog, because that dog was.
Oh yeah.
that dog wasn't getting up.
No, this movie had two scenes where they had animals growling, but were not angry at all. Right, the first being the bull, and the second being the dog.
Yeah.
And the dog could not have been just more tame. He's just kind of like looking at Bruce Lee, who then Bruce Lee goes and watches Dick Cannon lay the pipe for a little bit.
Yeah,
and then he's kind of like, "Oh, this you dirty dog, you." It's like, all right, dude, get out now. Please leave.
Yeah. I was like, well, I'm just gonna do it, right? You just watch me pipe.
I bet you in that relationship, he's seen him do that a lot. I'd imagine.
Yeah,
right.
I feel like this is not the first time that he would have seen his dick enter a woman,
some unsuspecting lady.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we had known a little bit more about Bruce Lee's character and Dick Cannon. Like, we know they're CIA agents, but like, how did they become friends? Is it just by being partnered together? Do they have a history together? Like, I don't understand. He just shows up as a doorman in one scene, Dick Cannon, and Bruce Lee almost gets shot a couple times, and that's how we know that they're friends.
Yeah.
It's just a weird introduction.
So you're saying they need one more line of explanation, Dan?
Not even not a line. I think I just need a scene, right? Because I think does Bruce Lee's character call him at the mansion while he's making out with the naked girl?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess that's the scene of like, hey, we're partners. You got to come to this unknown location. And that's the other thing with the movie. They just send us to locations. We have no clue where they are.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of appear.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'd watch 3 movies of Bruce Lee and Dick Cannon.
Yeah. The
in their own
Adventures of
series.
Bruce Lee and Dick Cannon.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Just laying pipe and beating up animals.
That bull scene though, that is incredible.
Just when you think it can't get more ridiculous, they introduce a puppet bull.
Yeah.
And just like perfect. No notes. Great job, guy. You nailed it.
Oh, yeah. It was so much fun. The editing is all over the place. Like the one scene in the parking lot, the fight scene in the parking lot is over, and then all of a sudden Dick Cannon is all of a sudden knocked out there for some reason.
Yeah, they don't show how it happened.
And Anna's kidnapped.
Oh, I forgot about there's so much happening in this movie that, and like they do such a poor job of establishing characters that I forgot what happens to who outside of Dick Cannon and Bruce Lee.
Yeah, because Anna shows up just so she could commit suicide later.
Oh, and asking for $1 million just to kill herself.
Yeah.
There must have been a miscommunication there, like with the dubbing, because the whole movie's dubbed.
Mm-hmm.
So there must have been this doesn't really mean what she's saying.
Right. Yeah.
Why would you say give me $1 million and then kill yourself?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense. But it's regardless of how terrible it's shot in certain areas and how the story plays out, it's still so much fun because of how absurd it is.
Yeah, this is a great time.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if they made more movies together, but I absolutely would watch another movie with them.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final thoughts?
Ooh, final thoughts. This is all right. So I'll preface this by this movie is a definite watch. It's on Tubi. It's called Challenge of the Tiger. I don't think they ever talk about what the Challenge of the Tiger is.
Oh yeah, that was one thing I wanted to cross. The title, Challenge of the Tiger, 10 out of 10, no notes. Means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's a great title, but Jen and I, after the bull scene, we were betting that because the bull only makes one noise the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So we were guessing that due to budget restraints, like this is the only sound that every animal is gonna make. So it's like, all right, maybe it's called Challenge of the Tiger. Maybe a tiger shows up and the tiger will make the same noise as the bull.
Sure.
But again, nothing to do with tigers. There's no for a kung fu movie, you would think, oh, maybe there's like a gauntlet that he has to run called the Challenge of the Tiger, or he is known as the Tiger, or something to do with the tiger. Nothing. Doesn't matter. Still great. It's one of the only times where I am not annoyed by the title not matching the movie.
Sure.
Yeah, a lot of fun. A great. I know this came out in 1980, but it definitely looks like it was shot in the 70s. So it has that very grainy feel to it. It's a good piece of nostalgia. Yeah, again, 10 out of 10. Guy picked a good one here.
All right, Mark.
Yeah. So without having Stryker in my history, there was when you said Guy Special, I'm like, all right, this has a chance of being either something really good or like something that's not up my alley. And like I said, the immediate first scene with those scientists and the plot they set out, I was like, all right, I'm in. I'm completely in. And then the bull scene happens and it just keeps going from there, surprise Sig Heils and I guess however you describe that pumping iron scene. to be. It was just like, it very much felt like a guy that had been involved in many movies like these and then tried to write one of these movies. I don't know if this was his first attempt at something like this, but it very much felt like, oh yeah, I'm on set. I know what they do. This is what they do. And then we jump here and then we go here, and without actually knowing how to tell a story. It was essentially like part of like old school wrestling where there would be like this 2 to 5 minute setup and then they're fighting. Like that's essentially what this movie felt like. Like there was a common thread, there was a MacGuffin, there was the formula of sterilization or whatever it was, but the reason certain people had it and why she had a fake formula and I guess she faked her own death, and just the in between of a lot of the things was just confusing. But as Ann said, that was the fun of it, not knowing what was going to happen in the scene before going into it. It had that on a whole different level. It had that feel of when you go from one skit to another and I think you should leave. Like, you see something, you finish it, get it, and you go to the next one. It's like, all right, I don't know what's going to happen here. And then it's just anticipation and hoping that it's good. They did have some scenes that didn't really play well. But I would say 90% of the time it was a great watch. And it's one of the few times that I've been completely confused, but it did not hinder my enjoyment of the movie.
Real quick before Ant, before you get into your final thought, I had looked up something about Bruce Lee, and the only trivia I found was that he was arrested for fraud in China. So
makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not surprised for some reason.
Did he pretend to be Bruce Lee?
Probably. Yeah, probably. That's the only thing I could think of.
All right. As for me, a great time. Thanks, Guy, if you're listening. This is a good pick. I'm very glad you picked this. I'm glad I watched this. It's really funny. It's a really funny movie. I had a great time. Just come for the naked tennis, stay for everything else, the bullfight, the just incompetence of the CIA agents, and then all of it not mattering because all the formula blows up at the end, which is the best ending for humanity. It's the best case scenario. So really everyone wins. I don't know. I'm not really super familiar with the subgenre of Bruceploitation films, but I feel like this is probably a good jump off point. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's an ultimate Bruceploitation movie that needs to be seen. But if you are looking for a Bruce Lee impersonator, do all the work while his white partner lays pipe, and this is the movie for you. And really not lay pipe, really kind of like the scene in the bathtub went on for way too long, to the point where it's like, I feel like these people, neither wants to make the next move.
Yeah, a very awkward sex scene.
Right. It's like, it was like watching like two people that didn't really know what was supposed to happen next.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Challenge of the Tiger, my deepest praises for it. So
I was not expecting that. I had a feeling we would all enjoy it, but I didn't think we would all enjoy it this much.
I had a great time with it. It kept my attention. I wasn't reaching for the phone at all. I sat down, watched it through without any sort of distractions, because I just wanted to see what was going to happen next, and I was surprised every time.
They definitely subverted my expectations as well.
Right. Like even before Bruce Lee fights the bull, like some kid gets shot out of nowhere.
That because there's like the formula is in the hat.
Yeah,
and the kid catches the hat and he gets shot for it.
Matador throws the hat to Maria or the other guy. The other guy.
The Japanese guy, yeah.
Yeah. And then he gets shot.
Is that the only scene with a gun in the movie?
No, Dick Cannon's got one in the beginning when he's acting as the doorman.
And then when Maria is killed.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Fake killed.
Oh, fake killed. That's right. Yes.
Fake killed. Yeah, she
Yeah.
died. We never
'Cause-
really talked about it. She faked her own death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how. That's what I meant by I was getting like confused. I'm like, at one point during the movie, I was like, wait, are they? Has no one decided to just use a gun? Because I very much had when they would do a lot of the like setup for the martial arts moves. It just immediately in my head was the scene from Raiders where Andy just pulls out the gun and shoots the guy after all the pomp and circumstance.
Yeah.
Shoot him in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, why doesn't he pull out a gun? And then I realized, oh, maybe that's like this genre of kung fu movie is no one uses guns at all.
I feel like that's a staple of kung fu movies, that really guns are take a back seat to the kung fu.
Right. Because that eliminates the need for kung fu if you have weapons.
Yeah. We never even talked about the dirt bike fight.
Oh, the dirt bike fight. Oh God, there's so much to this movie.
There really is. Every time they leave the airport, they get attacked by somebody in some random way.
They're in mortal danger everywhere they go.
Yeah. This was a fun one. It was a good week.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break, and you guys are going to listen to nothing. We don't have anything in place. We're not running ads anymore, but we're going to take a break. That's all that's important. But before we do, Dan, why don't you, what do you got for us this week?
All right, guys. Real quick, please take some time out of your busy day, if you can, to go visit our very good friends at the Game Vault podcast, run by Mark Myers and Tom Schuster. They are doing such a good job in keeping you informed about video game news, games that are coming down the pipeline, games that they've played or think that you should be playing. So a lot of game reviews and playing on Twitch at Game Vault Pod. So please go check them out. They're on all socials at Game Vault Pod. New episodes drop every week on your podcast platform of choice. So please rate and review. That helps them out a lot. And go follow them on Twitch, subscribe, throw them a couple bucks. They've definitely earned it. And yeah, that's it. Just go support a couple hardworking guys.
Okay, great. And we're going to take a quick break, and you guys are going to listen to messages from friends of the podcast. So we'll be right back. And welcome back. Now it's time for our final segment. And this segment is going to be a special one. So we didn't talk about it at the top of the show, but we have a new Patreon, and we're going to plug this shit every week as much as we can. But if you go to patreon.com/TickTamPod, it's where you can subscribe to our Patreon right now, just $1. And that gets you access to Discord, where you can connect with us. We're going to start doing movies of the month. I think in June, we'll probably start that, where you'll get to exclusively vote there on our movie of the month episode. So make sure if you are listening to this and you are subscribed to our Patreon, that you connect onto your Discord and go onto that Discord invite that I've sent you and sign up. I'm not mentioning any names, but a couple of Patreons are not in our Discord, and we'd love to hear you. We'd love to see your little usernames there. But one of the things we did a couple of weeks ago is we did an extra episode, kind of like testing, putting the foot in the water of potential Patreon exclusive shows that we would eventually do as like a $3 tier. That one was the WrestleMania 41 prediction show. This week, we kind of put up a poll on our Patreon to say, hey, help us decide what we're going to try out next. And the winner was us talking about good movies for a change. So I didn't want to do an idea of just, it's basically the same show. Instead, we watch good movies instead of bad movies. So we switched it up a little bit. We have, all three of us have put together lists of movies that we haven't watched before, are good, and are on streaming services. So this is sort of like a movie blind spot of sorts, is what we've been calling it. So we decided to put together a list of movies that we haven't seen for whatever reason. We haven't gotten around to them. We've always wanted to, but for whatever reason, we haven't gotten around to watching them. And we are going to spin some wheels, and then for our exclusive show, or like what we're calling a pilot program, which will be available in the main feed, we're going to come back and kind of give like a book report to everybody about the movie that we went off and watched on our own. So that episode, we're basically going to talk about 3 movies that we watched that week. So hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
And if it goes well, then maybe that's the exclusive show. I am interested. I excited to watch a good movie for once. I don't know about you guys, but yeah.
I've been dying to do something like this for quite some time.
Okay, there you go. So we've been suffering through all these bad movie episodes, and now we're finally maybe going to talk about some good movies. So I'm going to share my screen with these fellas, and we're going to go individually through our spin some wheels to pick our movies. I'm very excited about this. This is going to be fun. Hopefully this translates exactly how I want. So we've got first up Mark. I don't think we have to go through each movie, but like kind of take us through the process of why you put some of these movies.
As I was discussing with Dan before the podcast, there are a lot of movies I could have put on here, but I wanted to be a little more variety based. Like a big blind spot for me is Westerns. So I could have put a whole bunch on there. And essentially the ones I've seen outside of a couple are just the ones that I've seen with Aunt during college or at various points. Sure. So that is why a movie like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is on there, because I've not seen that one yet. And then I also wanted to close the loop on Miyazaki movies for myself, which is why Kiki's Delivery Service is on there. It's the only one I have not seen. And then I put a lot of some recent stuff that has come out that I wanted to see, and then I went back and grabbed some classic movies from the 60s and 70s. And then the one funny one on here, another director that I've seen all of his movies, but I have never seen Uncle Buck, so I thought that would be a fun one for me to compare to the other John Hughes movies that I have. So yeah, that was essentially my thing. I wanted more variety. And I didn't want it to be just a wheel of 10 Westerns, essentially.
Sure. Mm-hmm. So his full list for everybody listening is The Hobbit, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Raging Bull, Uncle Buck, Kiki's Delivery Service, Interstellar, The Martian, Goon, Parasite, Whiplash, Apocalypse Now, and Chinatown. Mark, is there any movie that you're pulling for?
To be honest, I'm in the mood to. I hope that Kiki's Delivery Service pops. I had tickets to see it 2 years ago when it was running in theaters, and then I took my impromptu trip to London, and Kiki's was that week, so I had to can't refund those tickets. So hopefully the good karma comes back and gets me Kiki.
Okay, are you ready for me to spin this wheel?
Yeah, let's spin that wheel.
Big money, big money, big money.
Oh, yay!
You have an aforementioned movie. You have Interstellar.
I should have taken off the list.
How you feeling?
Well, I know I probably have the longest movie for the report.
2 hours and 50 minutes. Yeah. I can potentially beat you with one of them.
Yeah. Do you have the director's cut of Gettysburg on there? That's like 4.5 hours.
I do not. Interstellar. I am interested to see what you think of this.
It's been a movie I've been interested. That and The Martian fall into the same category of movies I know that everybody else around me has seen and has varied opinions on. So I wanted to have an excuse to watch it to have my own opinion.
Great. All right. Next up, we're going to Dan.
Kiki's was the next one on that wheel too.
Dan, why don't you take us through what was your process of going the movies that you picked?
This was more of a. It's hard to describe because I don't have I didn't have a way of thinking as Mark did, where it's just like, oh, I could have filled the wheel with this one genre, but this was kind of more of just I was going through Letterboxd and I would just see a movie. I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's definitely something I should have seen. I know there's a couple of movies on here that our friend circle have talked about and said how much they liked it. Nothing in terms of a strategy, but just going through Letterboxd and just picking out a few movies and saying, yeah, I think it's about time I check this out.
Okay. Is there any that you're pulling for, like deep down?
Deep down, with the passing of Val Kilmer, Heat is up there, but if it's not Heat, I'd probably say Princess Mononoke, because
Nice. Yeah.
in terms of finishing out the Studio Ghibli movies we were talking about, that would close it out for me.
Gotcha. So he has on his list Princess Mononoke, Taxi Driver, Blue Velvet, Up, Goonies, Heat, Face Off, Chinatown, Spinal Tap, Hot Rod, Memento, The Untouchables, and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Nice list.
Thank
All right,
you.
you ready?
If you get Mononoke, I might watch it with you at the same time.
That'd be great.
It'd be an excuse for me to watch my favorite one.
Sure.
All right, here we go. Your pick is This Is Spinal Tap.
I'm happy with that too.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is going to be an interesting episode.
Yeah.
If there was one movie I wasn't pulling for, it was probably Hot Rod. That was next up. Although I've heard it's really funny.
I love Hot Rod.
It's just not high on the list, especially. But I was going through it. I know you and a couple of our other friends have talked about Hot Rod being very funny, so I put it on there.
Okay, it's my turn. Not necessarily a specific way I went around this. I have the Criterion channel that I got as a gift from my wife for Christmas, and I wanted to utilize that as much as possible. So not all of these movies are from the Criterion channel, but a good amount of them are. And, not to be like douchey film bro, but a lot of the movies that I'm supposed to have seen, more or less I have seen. Some of them that aren't on streaming. Like Lawrence of Arabia is a movie that I haven't seen. It's not streaming anywhere, so it's not on this list. So I pulled a lot from Criterion channel. I picked some newer movies that I haven't seen, and really, this is a chance maybe to watch a Lord of the Rings movie. So my list is 20. I put 20 on here because I just had 20 on my mind. Stalker, Come and See, A Woman Under the Influence, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, Eyes Without a Face, Dead Ringers, The Game, The Florida Project, Oppenheimer, Harlan County, USA, Barbarian, The Big Short, Princess Mononoke, Midnight Run, In the Mood for Love, Promising Young Woman, The Wages of Fear, Arrival, High and Low, and Godzilla -1.
I was going to say before you spin, I might just watch. Well, I'm not this week probably, but most of your movies I might watch along with you because I think only a handful, maybe 4 or 5 of them I've actually seen. Yeah. So
and we should we'll talk about offline when these are due, when these reports are due, essentially. If I am pulling for anything, I feel like Come and See is a movie that I should watch. It's a anti-war movie from 1985, Serbian, I think. But I hear it's gut-wrenching and life-affirming. So
this is more like a horror movie.
Right, exactly. Heard. Yes. So
shit. Now I'm kind of pulling for that too.
So it's been on my to watch list on the Criterion channel since I've had it, and I just haven't been able to pull the trigger on it. It takes me like I had Schindler's List on DVD for a long time before I actually sat down and watched it, because I usually don't like to subject myself to a bummer of a day, but it's here. So hopefully if it comes up, it comes up. But I think I will be happy with any of the films. So let's see. What am I going to watch? Ooh, interesting. So Akira Kurosawa's High and Low. I'm excited for that one. I hear great things. Yeah, it's a little crime thriller for us. So that's going to be an interesting pairing. We have Interstellar. This is Spinal Tap, and High and Low. I think this is going to be a good one.
A nice mix of the genres there.
Yeah. And Mark, if you're trying to watch along, I think High and Low might be Max too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just looking it up.
Yeah.
That is one of the ones. Oddly enough, Promising Young Woman I watched on the aforementioned flight back from London. on
Oh,
trip.
cool.
So
we were
it's-
so close to me not having to watch a movie because I know it by heart. In
That's so
Godzilla -1.
That was right there. Yeah. Yeah. You guys. So you're not obligated to watch the other movies, but I was planning to watch your movies, whatever you guys went. So to extend the conversation, but and I'm thinking this is probably like when did we did our first one the week of the 17th of April, so it's probably like a mid-May thing. We'll probably be looking to record that episode or have that episode released. So
yeah, awesome.
Yeah, we'll give ourselves a couple of weeks to sit down and watch that. So stay tuned to this channel. That's probably going to come out in the next couple of weeks. Again, we're going to do like a sort of a book report of the movies we watched. Again, Mark has Interstellar, Dan has This Is Spinal Tap, and I have High and Low. So I'm excited about this. I think this idea has legs.
And I'm always one for knocking things off, the backlog or things you should have done. It's essentially what I'm doing with one of the streaming nights over on Game Ball Pod. It's just any game I want to get, like old game off my backlog. I'm just playing it.
Yeah.
So I'm always one for doing something like that, whether it's movies or TV or video games, albums, just something I should have listened to or watched.
Because it's so easy to watch, just throw on something you've watched 100 times, and I get into that habit and that rut. So trying to shake things up a little bit, get us out of our comfort zone sometimes too. But so be on the lookout for that. As in terms of this episode, we're just about wrapped up. You can check us out on all our socials. You can check us out on Threads, Instagram, and on Blue Sky at TikTam Pod. You can also check us out on TikTok at They Call This a Movie. We are on YouTube, which I believe actually is like at TikTam Pod. I don't know how you type in like profiles on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure our YouTube channel is at TikTam Pod.
Yeah,
so check
you
us
can
out
also
there.
just search it.
Yeah, you can also search it. They Call This a Movie, TikTam Pod, whatever you want to. Questions, comments, you want to suggest a movie to us, tictampod@gmail.com, or you know what a better place to do a suggestion for a movie would be on our Discord. And to get to that Discord, you have to sign up for our Patreon. And you can sign up for our Patreon, just $1 a month. You can sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/tictampod. You can suggest all the movies that you want. Our friend Jonathan is always suggesting Liquid Sky to us. Eventually we will put this on the list. We are filling out the list of next upcoming movies, so that might appear in the near future. But if you have any questions, comments, or even better yet, you got 5 minutes, you want to give us a 5-star review on your podcatcher of choice, that would help us out a great deal. Otherwise, those are the ways to get a hold of us. That's going to wrap us up. The director of Challenge of the Tiger is Bruce Lay. So, for Dan Aquino and Mark Myers, this is Anthony Vecchio telling Bruce Lay, well, you certainly made a movie, didn't you? Thanks for listening to They Call This a Movie. Subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to check us out on Twitter and Instagram at TicTamPod. That's TCTAM Pod. You can also check us out on TikTok at They Call This a Movie.